Aliveness. Now we're going to go back into my notes on aliveness. I wrote those about 6 years ago while I was filming my first course, the new 10x Aliveness Transformation Program, which never got sold but now gets published. And appreciate the starting point, healthy relationships with our unfulfillment and unaliveness right now. I did not publish it before, that's why it didn't sell. So, yeah. Change happens by grace. The relationship for change to take place is in your hands. The more you mean it and need it, the more likely it becomes. But every change starts with acceptance of what is right now. The rule of difference. Your unaliveness is a great gift because it gives rise to a subjectively greatly increased sense of fulfillment, joy, once you have created this aliveness. They have brought you here to the tipping point. Fuel desire for change, even after the tipping point. Opportunity for gratefulness every time you encounter negativity again. It's to wake up, life lovingly telling you that the way you go about your life right now is off in some way. The entry door to a magnificent life. Because you bought this course, you must have been moderately to intensely frustrated with the condition. It opens you for the path of personal and spiritual growth and will transform all the other areas of your life as well. Because the things are hard, it is a drag to dig yourself out of them. This is probably how you feel right now. But once you've broken through and your life is better, it becomes a game and very effortless because compelling to expand on that. You need to learn it anyways. It's a part of becoming an adult to learn emotional fitness. As children, we are dependent on emotions from the outside, from our parents. This made us fear our own internal world of feelings because when they were antagonistic to our parental love, they frightened us. Our anger, our sadness may have tainted the experience of parental love that was so crucial for us in early childhood. But because fear creates emotional memory, we are still to this day conditioned to fear our internal world. This is not the case anymore. We are not dependent on the outside or anybody else to give us emotions for our survival. Becoming an adult means emotional independence, and this is rewarded with aliveness and lightheartedness. Where you start out longing for aliveness and wholeness, because we have an emotional memory of what it is like to be alive when we were kids, we now miss that state. The second need that we have is that for balance, for ease. We intuitively know what wanting to be different than we are and rejecting parts of ourselves uses up energy and creates stress and tension. So we seek relief back towards balance. Oftentimes, we fill that need for balance with unhealthy means, but wholeness is the only cure. We need to become whole again by letting everything be there as it arises. Great piece of content. Everything we do is for the way that it makes us feel. So when we feel unalive, and aliveness is a core need, we find ways to make us more alive, like taking substances or chasing variety of life circumstances. These stimulate our emotions intensely so that we can't help but feel. But in everyday life we return to numbness. So if we can't help but doing stuff to meet this need to aliveness anyway, why not doing it in a healthy, mature, grown-up way, what is virtuous and feels incredible once you've gotten it? Video 2, our greatest obstacle, a worthy opponent and valuable teacher. Recap. Feeling alive comes from being in touch with our feelings. Learning is the only option that we have. Everything else is running away from our own shadow. It is silly to do so. We know the structure of this course. Know your outcome and your why. What we did before. Learn the structure of the course to get the best possible learning results. What we do now. The preparation for learning. Goal, structure, and clarity. First, appreciate the starting point. Appreciate your unaliveness. Second, learn about the major challenges of the human journey. Learning about the work. Goal is mental understanding. Outcome of this video. Come to a healthy relationship with your own mentality. What is the new aliveness code? Feelings, body sensations, emotions, sentiment, and intuition. What stifles us are two reasons. Number one, either or. What stifles us in our mentality because it brings us out of our feelings. There is either feeling or mentally believed that in that what we focus on. Believed mentally pulls us out of our feelings, so we have literally less time to feel alive when we spend more time in the head. Second, fear and internal conflicts. We shut off from our emotions because we experience internal conflicts. Explanation of the human condition. Explanation of origin of mentality. Not something bad, but adaptive. From that comes our own uniquely human journey to re-find happiness, get in touch with our feelings, and relearn how to live life. Great piece of content. Because we can only either feel or being pulled into thoughts. Feel or be pulled into thoughts. We feel more when we are less often pulled into our thoughts. Exactly. Great piece of content. When the impulse to be different than we are is stronger than to accept what is right now, which is the case for most Western people, then we rather follow our idea of how things should be than to feel how things really are. So it makes sense to follow the ideas in our head, but it simultaneously feels wrong to do so. It would feel right to follow the heart. In order to escape this internal conflict, we shut off from the feeling component and follow the head. Following the head, not the heart, in this way makes us feel unalive in many shades. Number one, disempowerment. Internal conflicts and sitting between the chairs of what feels right and what I should do. You feel disempowered because you feel to do the things that you feel compelled to do are less important than what you should do. Oftentimes we feel unable or unwilling to decide. The feeling of disempowerment feels like a heavy weight that wears us down. We ritually train ourselves for a disempowered life that is not lived on our own terms and what's best for us, for our mental ideals. We will always have emotional conflict where we don't know what to do. Actually, we always know, the heart always knows, but it involves overcoming fears in this moment. When the reason for acting differently are equally strong as the reasons to follow the heart, we have conflict. But in these moments, we have to assert following the heart because it just feels right to do so. Loss of aliveness due to not wanting to feel. Our overall aliveness we lose when, due to these internal conflicts, we still follow our head and blank out those feelings of what we are actually feeling compelled to do. Shutting off one feeling makes us grow numb to all feelings we have. When we avoid this feeling bad about doing things I should do, we lose touch with all the emotions in our internal world, missing out on energy boosts. On the other hand, the rewards from facing the fear of uncertainty and going with what feels right without knowing why makes us feel greatly alive. When we assert ourselves, break out of social conditioning, be ourselves in the face of social pressure, facing our fears, etc., that gives us a great influx of energy. Loss of energy through willpower. Man, this is so decent, the content. Very, 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 very nice. Very, very nice. Very, very nice indeed. Alright. Okay, here. Great content. I am greatly content with the great content that I've got. Let's go. Missing out on energy boosts. On the other hand, the rewards from facing the fear of uncertainty and going with what feels right, knowing why, makes us feel greatly alive. When we assert ourselves, break out of social conditioning, be ourselves in the face of social pressure, facing our fears, etc., this gives us a great influx of energy. Second, loss of energy through willpower. Internal conflicts by themselves burn away energy. They involve willpower. Following the attraction of the heart does not. Overcoming fear initially costs willpower as well and uses up energy, but once we have done it a few times, following the heart does not cost energy, but gives us energy. Third, feeling bad about coping. After a day of plenty of those conflict situations where you follow your head, not your heart, you feel drained, exhausted, and unfulfilled. Then oftentimes we go for coping that makes us feel good, but feel even worse about having done it because it feels good but wrong to do it. Like spending time distracting ourselves with TV, overeating, binge treating, drinking, with TV, overeating, binge drinking, treating others unfairly. Thus, those lose respect and we feel even less empowered in our life because we feel it's automatic and unwillfully that I fall into those behaviors. Speak the fuck slow and eat slowly. Don't eat like an idiot kid. Cut out times for things that don't make sense to spend time on and eat the fuck slowly. Speak slowly. To bridge feelings and mentality in balance is the aim. Not only to allow ourselves to feel these feelings, but to also act upon them in a mature way. Feeling them, listening to your heart, acting upon them, following your heart. When we would listen and follow our hearts and life and live the life and live the life and live the life of our entire system, live the life that our entire system desires, we would feel alive and excited. When we focus primarily on our mentality to define ourselves, emotions are in the way. When we feel this longing, it's because we have an unconscious memory of things having been different before. The heart knows best. In the face of conflicts, it is best to decide by the heart. When we have time to make the decisions, we can ask, why do I feel compelled to do and what feels right to me? What would I do if there were no consequences? Let's imagine a person that follows their heart and I always know what is best for her. How would she decide in such a situation? It is not easy and takes practice, but with these decisions we learn to distinguish the voice of the heart from the voice of the head. Relation with our mentality. Alright, now after 11 minutes we go and check on the lentils. As I'm still an amateur cooking myself. No, I'm not speaking that over myself. I am the boss. And I get food. And for now, I love the humility of cooking. It's fine. Speaking more, speaking better, speaking easy. Are we rolling any spliffs tonight or are we not? Relation with our mentality. I am a professional. Difference between thought and thinking. Thought appears automatically. Thinking is made by choice. Thought is more like a reflex, like a hair springing up when you feel cold. It is a trigger outside or inside that touches over multiple association pathways, an emotional wound, and we experience this automatic reaction we call thought. Thought is nothing we do, it's something we experience. Thinking we do, and in turn experience. Just because the voice in your head often sounds oftentimes like you. Just because the voice in your head often sounds like yours, it doesn't mean that it is you speaking silently. It just takes on the sound of the person that it relates to. Oftentimes it's about us, so we hear our voice. Sometimes it is about what others might say, so we hear their voice. Learn to see through thoughts, also verbalizations of the imagination. Often thoughts raise caution from our fears. So to follow the stream of thought leads us to our deepest fears, but this is explained in a bonus video. Our self-concept is in place to help us experience love and acceptance from people. Every thought can be linked towards that self-concept which structure is based on. I should be different than I am, therefore things should be different than they are. Thoughts are not a faulty condition, they have their place and purpose like everything in nature. Just the imbalance of thought and feeling in humans today is maladaptive and disease-causing. Thoughts are not yours. Depending on the emotional state that you're in, different thoughts are spawned in your consciousness. Oh, fuck. Ah, man. Alright. Right, there we go. With the content of the course, we go forwards. Thoughts are not a faulty condition. They have their place and purpose like everything in nature. Just the imbalance of thought and feeling in humans today is maladaptive and disease-causing. Thoughts are not yours. Depending on the emotional state that you're in, different thoughts are spawned in your consciousness. Thoughts become less and less, pulling if we do the things we know we should be doing. We are more than just our mental concepts we hold of ourselves. Meditation. Either as a daily silent practice or as a general relation strategy towards thoughts and mind movement. To practice to let thoughts be there without following them. That doesn't mean when we follow to judge ourselves or following them. It doesn't mean to push them out or away. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't have thoughts. Alright, back in the place, here in the emotional, restful, playful place of talking through my content. Mindfulness practice, mindful walking, exercising, gardening, etc. Facing what is there. Most of the mind movements come from anticipating a thought and thoughts, anticipating thoughts and trying to control these outcomes. When we act from intuition, we face the things we need to face. Thought movement disappears. Recap 2. Reasons why mentality stifles us. Human condition, human longing, human journey. Man, I'm so excited about that. Outcome of this video. Come to a healthy relationship with our mentality. Video 3. The twofold path. Recap. Feeling our feelings is the way to regain our aliveness. This is the only way to go about it. Everything else is cowardness. Cowardice, isn't that the way you say it? Cowardice. Cowardice. We know that we start out from a place of appreciating our unfulfillment instead of feeling it should not be. We have come to a healthy relationship with our mentality that stands in the way of feeling. Outcome of this video. To see that feeling your feelings is the first step to create the foundation. But it is not enough. We have to act upon it and create a structure of life that nurtures aliveness. There are two components to being alive. The foundation to be in touch with one's feelings, and second, to create life circumstances that match your freedom and aliveness. So we will learn, number 1, how to relate to your feelings, and secondly, how to make life-altering choices so that your life circumstances match your emotional fitness. For example, when you decide to start your organic artisanal soap business, or remain in your government service where aliveness and unconventionality is not necessarily encouraged. Outcome of this course, a life of ease and joy, emotional variety where there are ups and downs, but it feels altogether fulfilling to you. Regain your aliveness, because with aliveness you can handle all of your problems. Not easily, but aliveness brings energy, and energy is the prerequisite for change. Great piece of content. A truly great piece of content. Oh.